U.S. Embassy.
Good morning and welcome to the WSJM Morning Show, the video live stream edition where we talk about whatever in the world is on our minds. So we'll do that here today.
Oh, boy.
It's me, Ken Lundberg, and my co-host this morning is Mike Weibel. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning.
Welcome
Ken.
back from the holiday brief break. Did you get some time off?
Not so much.
Really? I mean, you took Christmas off. You took the 25th off.
Yeah.
Any other days?
No.
Really?
No.
Wow.
It was a very busy December for us. So
okay.
That's
good.
Yeah, it is. It's a good problem to have.
That is a very good problem. Okay. But we'll talk a little bit about our holidays, if you wish, and we can talk about other things that are happening. Former President Jimmy Carter passed away, announced over the weekend. He was 100 years old.
Yeah.
100 years old, a century of living.
He was born in 1925.
1924. Yeah. Well, when is his birthday? Let's look it up real quick.
I'm looking.
Oh, you're looking it up. Yeah. Okay. Mike Weibel has his smartphone out, and he is looking up the exact date, Jimmy Carter's birthday. I already have it. October 1, 1924.
Okay.
Is that what you have?
Well,
born in Plains, Georgia.
They just keep throwing dates at me for Gerald Ford and everybody else.
No. James Earl Carter Jr., born on October 1st. So he was an October baby, which automatically means he is smart. Because I was born in October as well.
Wow.
Right?
Right, for sure.
All right. It's the video live stream. We please give us your comments, your thoughts. Thank you for hopefully let me know your thoughts on the best of live stream picks that I gave last week.
Yeah.
Because we have the technology. We can rebuild it.
We can.
No. So I chose some best of live shows last weekend, and in fact, we were back in town Friday afternoon. I was talking with Samuel. You know Samuel.
Oh yeah.
And I said, as a matter of fact, you were on the live show today, Samuel. And he's like, oh, okay, cool. That was it. He got a new phone for Christmas.
Oh.
And so prying him away from his phone is like prying jam off of peanut butter after you've made the sandwich. It's just not happening.
Well, I actually watched that episode because it was Samuel. It was
a lot of fun.
Psych was back.
Psych was back.
Part of Psych.
Psych was back.
Right.
So anyway, all right. You watched some football this weekend?
I did watch some football this weekend. Interesting Colts game.
Yes. I saw the Giants beat up on the Colts. You know me, sports ball, foosball, all that stuff. But one of my sons is in a fantasy football league, Stuart, and for some, I don't know what he was dependent upon, but it was about the Indianapolis Colts doing well.
Probably his fantasy league or something.
Well, yes, his fantasy league, right. Yes, and so he needed them to do well. They didn't do that great. They lost, and New York Giants got their first home field victory, I think, this season, right?
Yeah.
So,
and then I watched the Buccaneers. That's my Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Very nice.
They embarrassed the Panthers 48-14.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a stomp.
Yikes.
And then tonight is the Detroit Lions and San Francisco.
Who's going to win that one? Who's favored in that one?
The Lions.
Slightly. The Lions are? Okay. Good. Because the Lions already secured their playoff slot.
Right.
And San Francisco, which I was just in San Francisco. I don't know if you know this.
I've heard.
You know, the hills.
I'm craving rice-a-roni
the
right
one
now
thing,
because of that.
And the San Francisco treat is the sound of the streetcars like all the time. Ding, 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 ding. First day it was cute. Second day was fun.
I can't believe you didn't ride a streetcar.
Well, we wanted to walk, and that's how I broke my foot.
That's yeah.
We've got to get back for news and more in just a moment. It's the WSJM Morning Show. We'll tell you about my foot because that's a painful story.
Oh.
We'll talk about that.
Yourself or a loved one this holiday season. For an exclusive offer, go to bioptimizers.com/radio and use promo code radio during checkout to save 10% and transform your health. That's bioptimizers.com/radio.
WSJM News Now. Team coverage from the WSJM Newsroom on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
It's the WSJM Morning Show. Good morning. I'm Ken Lundberg. Here with me this morning on Monday, December 30th is Mike Weibel. It's 7:05. We've got 37 degrees in Benton Harbor, St. Joseph, South Haven. Buchanan is reporting 36 degrees, just like New Buffalo and Dowagiac. Cloudy skies, as Mike said, we can expect the clouds till when? March of the next year. So do pay attention to that. Mostly cloudy skies today. 46 degrees for a high. West winds 10 to 15 miles per hour, gusting up to 20. Tonight's forecast, cloudy skies, a 50% chance of rain or snow showers tonight.
It's not going to snow.
I don't think it's going to snow. The low's only going to get down to 35 degrees.
Yeah.
Southeast winds 10 to 15 miles per hour, gusting to 20. Tuesday's forecast, cloudy skies, 70% chance of rain snow mix. High around 40 degrees. North winds 10 to 15 miles per hour, gusting to 30. We are monitoring some other stations as well. We saw Grand Rapids was thinking later in the week snow.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think they're being hopeful.
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe if it comes like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Because as we look at the forecast there, we do see mostly cloudy skies on Wednesday, a 30% chance of snow showers because the low is going to be around 30 degrees. The high is only going to be around 33. So a slim window there, slime window of snow there. It's Thursday's forecast, partly cloudy, high around 27 and a low of 23. Friday, partly cloudy, high of 25 and a low of 22 degrees. Precipitation comes back into the picture Saturday and Sunday, but just looks like a 20 to 30% chance Saturday and Sunday here with the highs 23 and 25 degrees respectively on Saturday and Sunday. Some of the news that we're following this morning, we told you about this a few minutes ago. A vehicle crashed into a house in Van Buren County early Sunday morning. Fortunately, no injuries. Van Buren County Sheriff Daniel Abbott reports the deputies were dispatched to the intersection of 32nd Avenue and 70th Street just after 2:30 a.m. Sunday morning in Bangor Township. They had a report of a vehicle crashing into a house. That's indeed what happened. The driver, a 38-year-old man from Battle Creek, traveling eastbound on 32nd Street, failed to stop when the street did and proceeded to drive through somebody's front yard and into the front of a house on the east side of 70th Street. The residence was occupied at the time. That person, fortunately, was not in the room that was breached by the vehicle's front end. The male driver of the vehicle was taken to Corwell Hospital in St. Joseph as a result of the injuries. Alcohol is believed to be a factor in that crash.
Yeah, I'm sure that's not a very big leap.
No,
that one.
No. I mean, the street stops. There's probably a few warning signs there, and then all of a sudden, pow. Let's see. And police are this is over in Dowagiac. Police are investigating a case of vandalism and likely arson at a business there. The Dowagiac Police Department say it happened in the early morning hours last Thursday at the Hartman Auto Service at 102 North Front Street. Two vehicles had their tires slashed, including one owned by the business owner. One of the vehicles was set on fire. How do you set a vehicle on fire these days?
I don't know, other than a match.
Well, I mean, you got a match and you put it on a tire, you're just going to burn your fingers. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe they had an accelerant of some sort. Anyway, the police department says it was called in to the scene around 3 a.m. when it received the report of a smoking vehicle. It was just sitting there having a cigarette, smoking vehicle. When officers arrived, it was on fire and the fire department was called in. The owners of the business say surveillance video from nearby properties is available, and that is currently being reviewed. They ask anyone with information about the incident to contact the Dowagiac Police Department.
I think when I heard it on the news, he actually was the owner was in Mexico.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's a great call to get.
Yeah.
That's a great call.
But I think the car that they set on fire was actually a salvage. So they were gonna junk it, but
you know, you're a car buff.
Yeah.
You like old cars.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you're perusing for old cars, especially on Facebook Marketplace, you see, it's got a salvage title.
Right.
Which, sometimes those can be really cool cars.
They can be.
Unless they're set on fire.
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
A little hard to preview that.
Well, Christine did it. If you remember that Stephen King movie. Other news that we're following, police are warning the public about a scam that involves someone pretending to be the police. The scam has been reported in several counties in Michigan. We caught up with Genesee County Sheriff Chris Swanson, who says several people have gotten calls from someone pretending to be Lieutenant Holland from the police department.
Lieutenant Holland.
Yeah.
In this county call me because they were going to get scammed, and it was so believable that they had to verify. These are individuals that run businesses, that have companies under their control, and they were almost scammed because of a fake call that is from the sheriff's office or another police agency saying that there's a warrant for their arrest because they didn't show up for jury duty.
Police will never call you, they say, and ask for money. If you receive a call like this, you're advised to hang up and contact your local police department immediately. I mean, you ever miss jury duty by accident?
Yes.
And did you ever feel like they'd put a warrant out for your arrest?
No.
No.
Not that I'm aware of.
I think it's a civil fine if you do it. It's not something where they're going to throw you in the county pokey, is it?
No.
All right. The holiday hustle and bustle continues this week for many people who will be gathering with family and friends, etc., and maybe even going to a party or two. Michigan State Police First Lieutenant Mike Shaw says you should have a plan to get home safe if you'll be drinking or otherwise inebriated.
Plan ahead to make sure that you have a proper ride home, be it that you're drinking at these parties or smoking marijuana is the same effect. We don't want you to get behind the wheel afterwards. So have that plan in place to get home before you go out, so you won't end up in a situation like this. Because the last place you want to be over the holidays is sitting in jail.
Yeah, no, especially if you've been smoking the marijuana.
Yeah, the marijuana.
The marijuana.
A good transition into that whole dirt on weed education program.
The dirt on weed. Yeah. The statewide Drive Sober or Get Pulled Over campaign runs through the first of the year. Extra police patrols will be out looking for drunk and drugged drivers.
Drive sober and get pulled over. Drive high.
No. You're supposed to drive sober or get pulled over.
Oh,
or yeah. So drive sober. That's the message. That means not inebriated.
Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah. I'm just thinking something would be catchy to go with driving high. Driving high and probably shouldn't fly.
Driving high doesn't fly. How about that?
Oh,
we could. Driving high doesn't fly. Yeah, we'll do that one. It's the we're trying WSJM morning show. Monday, December
we're pushing buttons.
December 30th at 7:12. It's the WSJM morning show. I'm Ken Lundberg. Over there is Mike Weibel. We're going to talk about more stuff in just a moment, including Jimmy Carter's passing and his impact on our area. We'll talk about that and more coming up in just a moment right here on the WSJM morning show.
The penultimate week of the
See, there we are. Got to remember which buttons to push.
Yeah, it's been so long.
Well, it's been like 7 days.
Yeah.
Holy mackerel. Good morning again, and welcome to the WSJM Morning Show. Bill says, welcome back, guys. Hello, Bill. Good to see you. John says, top of the morning, everyone. Top of the morning to you, John. Hope everything is well, and everyone else who's watching on the video live stream. Maybe we'll have Teresa. Maybe we'll have Diane check in. Maybe we'll have Alex and others.
Dan checks in.
Yeah, Dan Stewart sometimes is on there. Stephanie, I think, is watching right now with Russell, Mr. I need more attention here. Yeah. So, tell us about your holidays. Your holiday.
Well, not as exciting as yours, obviously.
Well, mine was a honeymoon.
Yeah. So, mine.
Did I tell you about the Michelin-starred restaurants? Okay, sorry.
Go. You did. You did.
You go first.
Yeah, so the kids came home, so we had a house full for Christmas Eve, which was awesome. And I made prime rib on Christmas Day.
Tell us about the preparation for the prime rib, because I saw, for whatever reason, probably because you were talking about it, my social media showed me a couple of preparation methods for prime rib, and one of them involved milk, which I do not understand.
No, none of that.
Okay.
So salted it.
Okay.
Heavy for 24 hours, left it in the refrigerator, salted.
Okay.
And let it sit.
So like a salt crust?
Yeah, but I mean, just a heavy rub.
Okay.
Like a rub.
All right.
And then just let it sit there and kind of sit in that. And then the next day I brought it in and you put together on the bottom of the tray, for the au jus, you do the carrots and celery and onions and just slice
the Trinity
clove,
yes,
and put it in there, and then put some olive oil over the top of the prime rib, and then salt and pepper.
Yum.
And put it in the oven and let it do its thing at 250, and then did the reverse sear. So 4 hours at 250, and then 15 minutes at 500 to create that crust. And
yum. Turned out well?
Yeah.
You liked it?
Yeah, very much so. Okay. Yeah. I was like, I would actually make this in another month or so if I
Well,
A
see
little
that
pricey though.
that's
a little pricey.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Where do you get your beef, if you might mind me asking?
St. Joe Martin's
Okay.
carries some of that, like I call ahead. In
Okay.
fact, a couple people asked me, like, where are you getting prime
Yeah.
rib? I was like, well, I always get it at St. Joe Martin's. So
Yeah.
they do a really good job, and just call and tell them what you want. And
Because I feel like a good butcher is a well kept secret.
yes.
Well, that's good.
Like I've done before for the guys in the office. So like at birthdays, one year I did steaks.
Yeah.
And went in and asked for exact cut of what I wanted in the steak, how thick I wanted it, and they'll do exactly what you want.
to get a cowboy cut.
Yeah.
Big old Fred Flintstone thing. Yeah. Snarf. No, that sounds really good. We had fish. It was good. I liked it. Yeah. We had a lot of fish.
Clint says missing jury duty is a charge of contempt of court.
See, I knew somebody would know. All right. So contempt of court. Do not miss jury duty. It's your civic duty. Here,
Right.
hang on just a second. We'll get back to the show here.
So cloudy with highs in the low to mid 40s. Rain with some snowflakes mixing in moves in tonight as we cool to the mid 30s. The rain snow mix will carry into tomorrow, especially later in the day. Highs Tuesday will be near 40, but temperatures will fall through the day. Light snow showers are possible Wednesday with highs near freezing. The rest of the week looks frigid with highs in the low 20s as we start our weekend. I'm WSBD 22 meteorologist Jessica Burns.
The Morning Show with Ken and Friends on 94.9 WSJM.
All right. I found some information too. So you go. Hey, good morning. It's 7:17. It's the WSJM Morning Show. I'm Ken Lundberg. Here with me this morning is Mike Weibel, and we are talking about a bunch of stuff. So far, I think I've covered sea lions, Russell, of the fancy Mustang. It was bright white, by the way.
Oh, there you go.
Which I don't know how I feel about that, but
Yeah.
it's like it's a Mustang, and a few other things on the honeymoon trip that Stephanie and I went on over the Christmas holiday.
Yeah.
You made prime rib,
Yep.
which we've got your recipe now recorded in perpetuity for the live stream
Forever.
listeners. Yep. So
Yes.
if you want Mike Weibel's recipe for prime rib, making the perfect beef, check it out. It's on the video live stream on Facebook and YouTube. You can follow, subscribe, or
Hit the bell for notifications.
wake up, Mike. Come on.
You were doing well.
No. And then let's see what else. Oh, before we went into the break, we were talking about news, and there's a new scam out there where somebody pretending to be a Lieutenant Holland or somebody else,
Lieutenant Diane.
right? That's Lieutenant Diane. Calling people and saying, "Hey, you've missed your jury duty. We've got a warrant for your arrest." Well, we got somebody on the video live stream who said,
Yeah, Clint said it's contempt of court for missing jury duty.
which could be true. I don't know. I'd like to verify that, but I did also do a search real quick. According to the Western District of Michigan, any person who fails to show good cause for non-compliance with a summons may be fined not more than $1,000, imprisoned not more than 3 days, ordered to perform community service, or any combination of that. So there's some serious penalties. I always appreciate jury duty. I know not everyone can do it because, or feel that they can do it because of their schedules and things that they have to do. But I don't mind doing my civic duty in that area.
No, I don't either.
Yeah. I mean, it's you got to be judged by a jury of your peers. Peers don't show up. It's not, the system doesn't work.
Right. Then who are you being tried by? Just,
I don't know. Television, TikTok, something like that. It's the WSJM Morning Show. We did see that the announcement, you've seen it as well. Jimmy Carter passed away over the weekend at age 100, born on October 1st, 1924. We've got some factoids about Jimmy Carter we can share in just a moment. I did have the opportunity to see him in person at the Habitat for Humanity build when I was working for Whirlpool Corporation. A group of us went to the build in Mishawaka back in 2018. And fortunately, he did not see me fall off the roof. I didn't fall off the roof. No. But I did work on the roof, and it was scary because it was high up there.
Is that the year that he sold you the woodworking magazine subscription?
So I used to do a lot of woodworking. I still have all the equipment. I don't do it as often as I'd like to. But I also used to subscribe to Fine Woodworking from Taunton Publishing. No plug there. But in the Fine Woodworking, one of their subjects, one of their magazine covers, was the woodwork of Jimmy Carter. He was a fabulous woodworker. He was
Okay.
very good.
Oh.
And so not only that, but then, he has all the humanitarian things that he did. And one of the organizations that he was very, very involved in is Habitat for Humanity. And he and his wife, Rosalind, were there at the build that I was at. He spoke to the whole group of us, couple hundred people who were assembled to help build that day in Mishawaka. And as I mentioned to you earlier, I don't remember what he said. I just remember how it made me feel. And he was a quality American.
I was going to say he was a public servant.
Yes.
Even when that was not his vocation.
And some of the epitaphs are saying he probably did more and is going to be remembered for more than what he did while he was in office.
Yeah, I would say.
Yeah.
I would say his presidency is not.
Because if you remember, during his time in office, there were lines at the gas stations.
Right.
Which, we haven't seen that again, have we? Lines at the gas stations?
No, not since then.
Except for when you give out reduced price gas. But 11. So anyway, quality individual, and really appreciate everything he did for Habitat for Humanity, really bringing that organization some high visibility. Some factoids that we gathered from the internets about Jimmy Carter. He was the first future president to be born in a hospital.
Oh.
First future president to be born in a hospital. How about that?
Well,
he
was in 1924.
He was the first president to be inaugurated by a nickname. Jimmy, because his name's James.
Yeah.
Well,
Jimmy and Billy.
And Billy Bear.
Yeah.
Remember Billy
Yeah,
Bear?
I do.
Jimmy and Rosalind Carter were married longer than any other presidential couple.
Wow. How long?
77 years.
Okay.
77 years. Yeah. Let's see. What else do we have? He installed solar water heating panels on the roof of the White House West Wing. Yeah. So, I mean, if you think you're highfalutin and fancy and futuristic by installing water heating solar panels on your roof, Jimmy Carter did it back when he was in the White House.
Long time ago.
In the 70s. Let's see what else. Peanut One set the technology standard for campaign jets. So I guess his campaign jet was known as Peanut One. Yeah, because Air Force One, Peanut One.
In Georgia.
Because he was a peanut farmer.
Yeah.
He was raised on a farm in Georgia, and I think his dad's farm, peanuts. Let's see. That one. Oh, he spent 89 seconds. This is a fun one. He spent 89 seconds inside a nuclear reactor in meltdown.
What?
Yeah. U.S. Navy Lieutenant Jimmy Carter was on the bridge of the, USS K-1. Oh, he was in the U.S. Navy in 1952. When a nuclear reactor in Ontario, Canada, exploded in 1952, spewing radioactive material into the atmosphere, the U.S. Navy deployed a team, including Mr. Carter, then a 28-year-old lieutenant who had helped develop the first nuclear submarine, to assist Canadian authorities with dismantling its partially melted core.
Wow, had no idea.
Yeah. So if you're thinking a meltdown nuclear reactor is not safe, well, here's a guy who just lived to 100.
Right. Yeah. Worked out for him.
89 seconds. It was okay. Well,
wasn't for that, he probably would have only made 95.
Don't believe anything. No, don't. Yeah. I mean, believe that, but don't believe anything I said about it's okay. Let's see what else. Elvis Presley called Mr. Carter, but was too high for the president to understand him.
Oh, no.
Yeah. In a 2011 interview, Jimmy Carter, former President Carter, recalled that shortly after his inauguration, he received a phone call from none other than Elvis Presley. Yeah, at the White House. The quote from Mr. Carter: "He was totally stoned and didn't know what he was saying. His sentences were almost incoherent." That's what he told the New Yorker. The singer apparently wanted the newly sworn-in president to pardon a sheriff who was in trouble with the law. Mr. Carter described himself as a personal friend of Presley's, and in 1977 said the music legend's death had deprived the country of a part of itself. So, yeah, there you go. Oh, one other. British tabloids accused Mr. Carter of breaching royal protocol by kissing the Queen Mother on the lips.
Oh.
Yeah. Queen Elizabeth II, Prince Philip, Elizabeth and the Queen Mother. 2 years after Mr. Carter visited Buckingham Palace in 1977, rumors began circulating in the British press that he had actually kissed the Queen Mother on the lips, which would be a faux pas, The papers considered it a scandalous invasion of personal space.
Oh, my.
He is the only man since my dear husband died to have had the effrontery to kiss me on the lips, the Queen Mother reportedly said. Mr. Carter forcefully denied the account in his memoir, insisting that his goodnight peck had been delivered lightly and on the Queen Mother's cheek.
Oh,
so
maybe she was thinking.
Wishful thinking,
Yes.
American president.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Georgia guy, a little Southern accent.
Oh, boy. Yeah. Peanuts.
Yeah.
Has a
Peanuts,
nice
anyone?
smell of peanuts around him. Yeah. So anyway, so former President Jimmy Carter, rest in peace. Final funeral arrangements are still pending, but it sounds like President Biden has said fly the flags at half staff, half mast for a month, and then also a national day of mourning declared. I think they said January 9th.
Yep, that's what I saw.
January 9th. So we'll have more on that and other things, but yeah, I mean, he again, for the things that he did while president, probably not a lot to be talked about in the coming days, but people will be talking about his humanitarian efforts after he left office.
Unless you're the queen, and then you're like,
well,
hubba hubba.
Well, she died too. Let's see.
With a smile.
Speaking of people not dying with a smile, we heard this on the news this morning. 2 men found dead over the weekend in a forest in southwestern Washington state, where they disappeared last week after searching for
Bigfoot,
Sasquatch, Bigfoot, the Yeti, whatever you want to call them. The bodies of the men, who were aged 37 and 59, were discovered after a 3-day search through the Gifford Pinchot National Forest, according to Skamania County Sheriff's Office. Exposure appeared to be the cause of both deaths. Not stupidity. I mean,
no, that wouldn't be it.
They're looking for Bigfoot and they die of exposure out there. Or maybe Bigfoot has a magic wand.
Yeah.
Freeze people. I don't know.
Or maybe he just scared the pants off.
Scared. They just froze.
Yeah.
Neither man was identified. The sheriff said the pair were from Portland, Oregon. The sheriff's office had coordinated a search and rescue operation that involved the United States Coast Guard, multiple law enforcement agencies, more than 60 volunteers. They used canines, drones, ground search teams to locate the missing men. The search was over difficult terrain and harsh weather conditions. It was launched on Christmas Day. So, I mean, one of the things you got to remember if you're going out into the wilderness, hiking around, is it's not just you're taking care of. Make sure that you're taking care of, to be reported or check in when you're supposed to check in, because otherwise you're getting all those resources out, putting them in danger.
Yeah.
And they did
ruining their Christmas day.
Ruined their Christmas day as
well.
well.
Look out for you while you were looking at Bigfoot.
Yeah. So anyway, they had the outdoor excursion. They were trying to track down Sasquatch. And who knows if they found him or not. Sasquatch, of course, is a mythical creature, they say, according to the Associated Press, often seen or thought to be seen in North American forests, especially those in the Pacific Northwest.
I saw something that Bigfoot called in and said, was recorded saying, "I didn't do it.
I didn't do it." It's a frame. They're framing me. Oh, man. Keanu Reeves. So Did you see this about his watches being recovered?
No.
So Keanu Reeves, he's been a successful actor, wouldn't you say?
Yes.
He's done a couple of good things.
Yeah.
Matrix and John Wick and a couple other things. His stolen watches, he had some watches stolen. They've been recovered in Chile. Yeah, 3 watches. This also surprised me. How old do you think Keanu Reeves is?
Oh.
How old do you think Keanu Reeves is? John Wick, The Matrix.
I'm going to say
Point Break.
50.
60.
Oh, see?
60. I would have guessed 50 as well.
Yeah.
3 watches belonging to the 60-year-old actor, including a $9,000 Rolex Submariner. Good luck getting one for $9,000.
Right.
Were reportedly taken from his Los Angeles home late in 2023. They were recovered during a recent raid in Santiago, Chile. According to media reports, the police raid was linked to a series of local robberies. Chilean authorities said they found the valuables during raids on 4 houses, with at least one of the watches belonging to Keanu Reeves. The Rolex Submariner watch is engraved with Keanu's name and the words 2021 JW4. Thank you. The John Wick 5.
Oh.
So he got that for his role in John Wick. Yeah. So he reportedly gifted Rolex Submariners to the stuntmen he worked with on John Wick Chapter 4 back in 2021. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Can I do a stunt for you?
Sure.
Okay. Will you give me a Rolex Submariner afterwards?
No. Give you a Timex Submariner.
A Timex. All right. We have more to talk about in a couple of minutes. We've got news to get to as well. We'll have the Bloomberg Market Minute here in a second. It's the WSJM Morning Show. I'm Ken Lundberg. Here with me is Mike Weibel. And we're back. We're live. We'll be right back in a couple of minutes right here on WSJM, if I can find the right button.
So, you want a free checking account that pays you a high rate on...
All right. WSJM Morning Show. No silence alarms. Whoops. No silence alarms. Yeah,
because
just
the microphone's
whacking
flying all over the room.
Whacking my microphone all over the place. So you had prime rib.
Yeah.
Do you have potatoes?
We did. Yeah. Potatoes.
How were the potatoes prepared? I'm
were
hankering for potatoes right now.
mashed.
Oh, were they?
Mm.
You didn't overwhip them?
Nope.
Okay, good.
I didn't do my. I did the.
Your
prime
responsibility was the
rib.
prime
The
rib.
sides was all my wife. So.
Okay. Diane says, glad you're back from time off. Thank you, Diane. Appreciate that. Do we have any other messages? Oh, Evan says, hey, Mike, did you have bone in or bone out for the roast?
I responded.
Okay, bone in.
Bone in.
Oh, you left the bone in. All right. Hey, Evan.
And then
good to
Dave
see you.
Andreas is watching. He was the president of my golf league. He just served his last year this year.
Oh,
So
congratulations.
So Dave was referred to as El Presidente, but now he is ex El Presidente. But interesting that the same day that Jimmy Carter passes away, that Dave Andreas logs into the morning show.
Oh.
2 ex-presidents, same day.
And Sasquatch.
And Sasquatch called in.
And Sasquatch called in as
Right.
well and said, I didn't do it.
I didn't
do it. Let's see. Evan is asking about what about his brother Billy? That's they sold Billy beer. Yeah, I remember. Billy beer being kind of a funny thing, and Billy being kind of the. I mean, he was kind of the Harry to William.
Yeah.
For the Royals.
Yeah, definitely.
Kind of the party animal, the always getting in trouble. Who, me?
Right.
Yeah, I didn't do that. What are you talking about?
Kind of like that the Dukes of Hazzard song, just a good old boy, never meaning no harm.
Never meaning no harm. Yeah. No, those were the days. And then Ronald Reagan right after that. The thing I remember the most was like within minutes of the Carter-Reagan transition, the Iranian hostages being released.
Yeah.
Because that was 100 days?
Yeah.
Something like that the hostages were in Iran.
And then the foiled, remember that when they tried to go in a mission?
Oh, the helicopter deal?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was heartbreaking. Heartbreaking. All right. What else do we have to talk about here? We've got Bloomberg Market Minute. We've got our ABC News. Do you have any plans for New Year's?
Laying low.
Laying low?
Yeah, we usually don't go on New Year's.
Yeah, because all the amateurs are out that
Correct.
night.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
you
just
got to be careful. That's a good idea.
Yeah, just a bad deal usually.
Somebody I saw on social media, if you start Ghostbusters 2 at like 10:52 p.m.
Okay.
At the exact moment that it turns midnight, the Ghostbusters will jump out of whatever they're doing and say, Happy New Year, because that's the part in the movie.
Yeah.
But then you back time it and set it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so I sent that to Stephanie because I thought it was funny. She said, "Oh, you want to watch Ghostbusters 2?" I said, "No, absolutely not."
Just trivia.
It's just trivia.
Right.
But if you want to do that, do that. And then I thought, well, how many movies do they have where they're saying Happy New Year? You can back time all of them.
So do you stay up until midnight?
Heck no. I mean, I wish I could.
Right.
But I can't. I mean, with the show and everything.
Right.
But even when I didn't have the show, I've not been able to stay up to midnight in a long time.
Yeah.
You?
No. And there's just not really a point.
Well, Dick Clark's still doing his thing, right?
Yeah, sure.
Sasquatch and Dick
Right.
Clark and
Yeah.
the Queen and
all hanging out together.
Yeah. No. I mean, for me, it's like, okay, well, we'll get a fancy cheese plate. Maybe we'll drink some sparkling toast, the non-alcoholic spirits or whatever, and just to enjoy each other's company and have a good time, go to sleep, enjoy the day off the next day.
There you go.
All right, that's all,
I like it.
Yeah. Oh, we got to get back to the show. Hang on a sec. Here we go. It's the WSJM Morning Show, 7:35. Good morning. Ken Lundberg here along with Mike Weibel. We're just enjoying talking about goofy stuff on the video live stream. If you've not ever experimented with the video live stream, do so. Check it out. It's on Facebook. It's on YouTube. We, from 7 to 8 o'clock every weekday morning that we're doing the show, I have the video live stream going. 7 o'clock, boom, we hit the show. Boom.
Just like that.
Boom.
Boom.
We hit the show.
We're live.
We go into drag mode, like on the Mustang that I was driving over the honeymoon.
I was going to say, we're going to drag mode?
Well, yeah, that didn't sound good, did it? We go
It's
to
not
drag
my
mode.
contract. It's not my contract.
Wait a second. You didn't read
I
the
need to
contract
call-
close
I've got
enough.
Judy's phone number. Let me call Judy.
HR. But no, we do have the video live stream. It goes every weekday morning from 7 to 8, and you can hear exclusive content behind the scenes where we're just talking about whatever is on our minds or whatever's on your mind. If you have a comment or question, just put it into the video live stream comments. In fact, we got a question about Billy Beer on there from one of my school chums, Evan, and then somebody was asking about, I think Evan as well, was asking about your prime rib recipe.
Yeah, it was.
Whether you debone or not.
Nope, bone in.
Again, personal questions. All right, it's 7:36. We've got ABC News coming up in just a minute, and then we'll have the latest from our own newsroom, WSJM newsroom, followed by our state news with Michigan News Network.
ABC News, I'm Mike Tobuski. Former President Jimmy Carter passed away yesterday at 100 years old. His one term in office was known for several foreign policy accomplishments, but overshadowed by the Iran hostage crisis. Author and ABC News contributor Mark Updegrove says he didn't let that damper his outlook of the office.
He did not think his presidency was failed in any way. He didn't think that he was erroneous in any way in the decisions that he made. So that's very important to note. But he said, but I want to be remembered for peacemaking and human rights. And I think that the only former president to win a Nobel Peace Prize, he will be remembered for just that.
A state funeral is currently set for January 9th. American investigators are en route to South Korea to help investigate that deadly plane crash that killed 179 people. The passenger jet touched down over the weekend without its landing gear deployed. Bird strike was also reported in the moments before the crash. This is ABC News.
WSJM News Now. Team coverage from the WSJM Newsroom on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
It's the WSJM Morning Show. Ken Lundberg here, co-host Mike Weibel this morning. It's 7:38, 22 minutes till 8 o'clock. Some of the news that we're following from the WSJM Newsroom that we'll be covering: 2 people in custody in connection to multiple storage unit break-ins and a vehicle pursuit in Van Buren County. We'll tell you a little bit more about that. That ended peacefully with a couple of arrests. Also, a 33-year-old Bangor man is in custody on charges of kidnapping. Again, no one injured in that one, but some tense standoff moments. And the Berrien County Health Department seeking a grant from the state to fund its marijuana education campaign. Getting high doesn't fly.
That's right.
Yeah, so we'll
Forget the dirt on weed. It's getting high doesn't fly.
Yeah, we'll talk about those stories and more coming up at 8 o'clock this morning. Also in the 8 o'clock hour, we'll hear
Lock up your gummies, you dummy.
Hey, I like that one.
You like that?
Lock up your gummies, dummy.
Right.
Dummies or dummy? We could do plural.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dummies.
Hey, dummies, lock up your
Your
gummies. Yeah. Anyway, we're just making up stuff here, but it's the WS.
No.
Well, no, really. No, but if you do imbibe or enjoy the marijuana things, what the health department wants you to know is be careful with them, because sometimes the kids get into the wrong stuff and they're at the hospital and they are actually seeing a rise in that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll talk about that and more coming up at 8 o'clock. Between now and then, we've got the Moody on the Market update. We'll also have, another health update, norovirus rearing its ugly head.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. Norovirus.
You know, I feel like since COVID, these lesser viruses have really had,
they all want their attention too.
They want their moment in the sun. So like Russell, they're just going to push you in and look at me.
We'll talk about here on the video live stream in a moment. We'll talk about one of the people who arguably has helped to shape culture. He passed away. The founder of HBO.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so we'll talk about that and get your thoughts on that as well. Right here on the WSJM Morning Show. We've got to look at state news now and then sports coming up next at 7:40 at WSJM.
The Michigan News Network.
Yeah, I was thinking about that this morning, because people passing away, it often happens in threes, and oftentimes it's a couple notables and then one like, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Charles Dolan, who founded some of the most prominent U.S. media companies, including HBO, then known as Home Box Office.
I remember that, yeah.
He also founded Cablevision Systems Corporation, has died at the age of 98.
Wow.
Yeah. That was reported by Newsday, which he helped found as well, it sounds like. It's with deep sorrow that we announce the passing of our beloved father and patriarch, Charles Dolan, the visionary founder of HBO and Cablevision. Newsday is also owned by the Dolan family, Dolan's son, Patrick, following Cablevision's purchase of Newsday Media back in 2008. Dolan's legacy in cable broadcasting includes the 1972 launch of Home Box Office. I didn't know it was 1972.
No.
Yeah, I thought it was a little later than that, but 1972, maybe that was just when it came to my town.
Yeah, I was going to say.
It was later. Commonly known as HBO, founded Cablevision in 1973, founded American Movie Classics, AMC, as a television station in 1984. He also launched News 12 in New York City, which was the first 24-hour cable channel for local news in the U.S. Probably where CNN got their idea for their model. Huh.
So have you noticed how things, as time has gone by, how the History Channel no longer talks about history.
Right.
The Travel Channel doesn't talk about travel.
Right. MTV no longer plays music.
No.
Yep.
And that just seems to be really wrong.
HBO, Home Box Office, no longer plays movies. No, they do play movies.
They do.
And I still remember the first time we had HBO installed was basically just a beige box.
Okay.
And it had two switches on it. What those switches do or did, still don't know to this day.
Right.
Because no matter which way you messed with them, nothing happened. But you had to have that box because your basic cable, which had 13 channels of stuff on the TV to choose from, you had to put one in and you got HBO, and that was it. And it was a marvel. It was amazing because you could see movies without commercials.
Yeah.
Without commercials?
Insane.
It was something else.
I remember when cable would go out when it stormed. Like it would storm, you get a stormer.
I know when I had a little dish TV or whatever, satellite dish, direct TV.
I can remember my dad when we'd have storms and cable would go out and he would call and complain.
Oh,
and they would say, there's nothing we can do. And then he would be like, well, am I going to get credit back for the time I couldn't watch?
And he did, I bet.
No.
I bet he got. Oh, he never got it?
No.
Oh.
They were like, no.
Yeah. I still remember the little cable company. Evan, if he's still online, he'll remember this. The little Quincy Cable Company had like 3 or 4 satellite dishes, and that's what we got our cable was. They brought it in, piped it out through the cable, and that's what we got. Yeah.
Oh, for the good old days.
I did steal cable. I will tell you that.
You did?
Yeah, I'll admit that.
Okay.
From my parents. I stole it from my parents.
Oh.
My bedroom, my brother and I, we fought like cats and dogs all the time. And so we stopped sharing a room when we became teenagers because the fights became too much and they didn't want to
violent.
Yeah, too violent. They didn't want to referee anymore. And so I moved into the family den.
Okay.
That became my bedroom. Well, Dad thought there's no way we're leaving cable in his room. And so they pulled the cable out by just basically pulling the cable physically out of that room. One day I went into the fruit cellar. It's like, I don't see where, well, I'll just drill a new hole. And I drilled a new hole and I hooked the things back up and I put it in there and got cable in my room.
Oh, look at you.
Learning early. I got 13 channels. What are you going to do about it?
That's right.
My little black and white TV. Anyway.
I remember when you have his cable and they started charging you for every additional line.
Yeah.
And then when TVs were cable ready, then you could go to Radio Shack and buy a splitter.
Oh yeah, the line splitter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then split it off and did a bit of that.
Yeah. Oh, for the good old days. Now what do? Now we just stream online and share passwords.
Right.
If we can.
Until they shut that down.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, and this is how good the vacation was that I just came back from. Is I didn't log into my YouTube online at all the whole time.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, it was super nice. But when you do log in, it knows where you are based on your IP.
Right.
It says, "Are you on vacation?" We will transfer your subscription then, so anybody at your house is no longer going to be able to watch that.
So Evan says we had cable TV before an FM radio station.
That's true. It's actually true. We had an AM radio station in the town, and they had farm reports and polka music, and that's all they had. And then the FM station came to town, and I banged on that door until they let me in and gave me a job, and that's where I got my first job. Yeah, I was at the first. So we had cable before we had FM radio in that area.
And what was the station? Was it
It was KW3. It was top 40.
Okay.
Yeah, top 40.
Casey Kasem.
No. Did we play Casey Kasem? We might have played the Casey Kasem top 40 on the weekends.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun. We did play the no, we didn't play it. The station down in Yakima played the King Biscuit Flour Hour.
King Biscuit Flour Hour.
Yeah, the King Biscuit Flour Hour.
And people are making fun about us and our
getting high, don't fly. Lock up your gummies, dummies. That's a good one.
Yeah.
I like that. No, the King Biscuit Flour Hour, they sponsored the live concerts so you could hear classic rock and roll things.
Okay.
And, yeah. But we digress. We'll be right back here on the WSJM Morning Show.
Mostly cloudy with highs in the low to mid 40s. Rain with some snowflakes mixing in moves in tonight as we cool to the mid 30s. The rain snow mix will carry into tomorrow, especially later in the day. Highs Tuesday will be near 40, but temperatures will fall through the day. Light snow showers are possible Wednesday with highs near freezing. The rest of the week looks frigid with highs in the low 20s as we start our weekend. I'm WSBD 22 meteorologist Jessica Burns.
The Morning Show with Ken Lundberg on WSJM.
And thank you so much for joining us on the WSJM Morning Show. Getting ready to close out 2024.
That's just crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like 2024 hasn't even started yet.
It was, everybody I've talked to, it just seems like such a fast year.
Yeah.
I mean, it just flew by.
Why did it fly by? Was it because we had no restrictions, no masks required?
When you think about the breakout of COVID was 5 years ago, and yet we still talk about it like it was yesterday.
I still remember in November of 2019, the person I was working for at the time was getting ready for a January trip to China.
Okay.
And I started following news to make sure that they were up to speed on what was happening, if there were any, riots or whatever, protests. And one of the first stories that came across was, hey, there's this mystery virus with flu-like symptoms that is starting to be detected in China. That trip did not happen in January, by the way, because I sent, things forward and then all of a sudden the world shut down. So yeah, hard to believe, hard to imagine it's been that long.
And at this point, we're almost closer to 2050 than we are to 1995.
That's weird.
Isn't it?
Closer to 2050 than we are to 1995.
Yeah.
How does Britney Spears feel about that?
I don't know.
She's still in Mexico, that poor girl.
I don't know where she's at.
Okay.
You
don't follow the top.
She doesn't message me anymore.
she stopped messaging you. All right. It's 7:49. We've got the Moody on the Market update. It's brought to you by Insurance Management Service. Call IMS today, your local auto owners insurance agency in St. Joseph and in Niles. And a special Moody on the Market story. The passing of former President Jimmy Carter may be an international historical event for most people. However, for a group of Southwest Michigan leaders of 20 years ago, it's a personal loss. It's counted as a personal loss, and one that invokes memories of a one-of-a-kind person who gave of himself and his influence to build 24 Habitat for Humanity homes in Benton Harbor in 2005. Carter's time spent here personally working on the construction project in June of 2005 was designed to inspire cooperation among local leaders as they faced an agenda of projects that required joint efforts that their local municipalities had never before achieved. The challenge was put to them in part by Whirlpool Corporation and Cornerstone Alliance. They oversaw some of the major local projects that the company was spearheading. In that role, Jeff Knoll, who was the head of Cornerstone Alliance at the time, had the opportunity to interact with Jimmy Carter and attract his attention to the opportunities that existed to help Benton Harbor begin to realize his potential. He emailed, after hearing about Carter's death on Sunday, Jeff Knoll emailed Pat Moody.
Oh, wow.
And Pat sent that along to our Moody on the Market crew and said, hey, here's this. This would probably make for a good story. So here are some excerpts from Jeff Knoll's personal note to Pat Moody upon hearing of Jimmy Carter's passing. He says, given the passing of President Carter, we should all thank him for Harbor Shores, and the Boys and Girls Club, Habitat for Humanity. When Mark Mitchell and I, this is Knoll speaking, were asked to go to Plains, Georgia, and pitch the Jimmy Carter Work Project for Benton Harbor, he asked us during the presentation, I can build 22 homes anywhere. What's the big picture, and what will 22 homes do for your community?
Oh,
that's what he asked. And perhaps with more confidence than should have been possessed, our local officials here made it clear to Mr. Carter that the vision was to build the community through partnerships, block by block, and the commitment was real. And we discussed key milestones already achieved. We laid out the Harbor Shores vision, the desire for the fifth time for the community to apply for the Hope 6 grant for housing dollars, and the commitment to create a Boys and Girls Club facility on the site of the Jimmy Carter Building Project. A few months later, you were there when he came to Benton Harbor, Pat Moody was there, and announced the commitment to build the homes. He asked the community to work together and, above all, show pride and clean up the streets. He said, make Benton Harbor all it can be. Show me you care. And you can read more notes about that, but just some of the local impact that former President Jimmy Carter had here locally and regionally.
Yeah, regionally too as well.
Through his actions and turning his focus of his foundation to help communities, including and like Benton Harbor.
Right.
Yeah, walking downtown.
Really nationally, you think about all the Habitat for Humanity.
Absolutely.
And then what's the appliance place, or
Whirlpool Corporation?
No, not that one.
Oh, which one?
The one that they donate to, and then they sell appliances and used stuff, and that would go to fund Habitat for Humanity.
The reuse. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Look it up. Look it up on your smart device.
On my smart device.
On your smart device. But that's the Moody on the Market update. If you want to read the full story about that and see some of those comments and understand a little bit more about the local impact, check it out. It's at moodyonthemarket.com. The Moody on the Market update is brought to you by Insurance Management Service. Call IMS today. They are your local auto owners insurance agency in St. Joseph and in Niles. Did you find it?
Yeah, Brett just texted me, Restore.
Oh, Restore.
Yeah.
Restore. Thanks, Brett.
Yep.
Thanks, Brett. Brett
He's all over
Witkowski. Yeah, Brett Witkowski. I think we have a news story with him somewhere.
He's like a correspondent right now.
He's one of our.
he's out in the field.
He's got his Morse code coming in. All right, that's the Moody on the Market update. We've got more to talk about in just a moment here, right here on the WSJM Morning Show.
Rich Brand and Tarek Halsey of IMS Insurance.
See, Brett keeping tabs on us. I asked him to come in tomorrow. Was it tomorrow or today? I asked him to come in one of these days.
Yeah.
And he said no.
Yeah, he texted me and said he's heading out of town.
Oh, okay.
He's out of town for...
Telling people about his schedule again.
Well, yeah, he's not going to be there. But you don't know where he lives. So. I post where you live. I take a picture in front of your house.
Oh, my goodness.
Selfie. It's a selfie, though.
Oh, my goodness.
So they know I'm near.
We saw so many birds. I don't know what made me think of this, but we saw so many different and cool birds. We saw a snowy egret.
Oh, yeah.
When we were at here, Stephanie told me the name of this place. Let's see. Hang on. I'll find it. Up. Sutros Baths. The Sutros, Sutros, Sutros Baths. So we're at Sutros Baths. We've got the ocean waves crashing behind us. It's just a beautiful scenery, and we're just in awe of all the nature around us. And then all of a sudden, the snowy egret just flies toward us and then just lands right in front of us. And its feathers are just wisping in the wind. It's the most beautiful thing you've ever seen. Big old toothpaste squirt of poop right in front of us.
Just ruined the moment.
Well, no, I thought it was
bring out the best
to me.
in all the aviary, don't you?
It made my day. The hummingbird, did his business. The snowy egret did its business. Who knows what the sea lions were doing when we came up to them?
Right. Well, they're not talking.
But they can be angry.
Yeah.
They can get aggressive. We told you there were 8. Oh, there's Sarah. We should probably let Sarah in. All right. We'll be right back. It's the WSJ. No, that's all right. I can buzz her in. Hang on one second.
4.9 WSJM.
Actually, maybe I can't let her in. Would you mind letting her in?
Now I'm letting her in?
Yeah.
I wasn't. Now I am.
Well, because she isn't calling. She's just out there waiting for us. She's probably listening to the live stream right now. And now she knows that we're talking about her. And so she's going to press the button. But you just go and let her in the door. So we've got Sarah Spoonholz from the Southwest Michigan Regional Chamber coming in a few minutes to talk with us about some of the fun things that the Chamber has going on. Yep, Chamber never sleeps, just like Rust. Let's see. So we talked about Bigfoot. Oh, we didn't talk about norovirus yet. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention have reported that they've reported double the cases of norovirus. Yeah, double the cases of norovirus compared to previous years in early December after outbreaks have been reported across the country. During the week of December 5th, the CDC reported 91 cases of norovirus. Here, come on in. Come on in. Hi, Sarah.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. Thank you. You didn't push the button. I couldn't do my magic trick if you don't push the button.
The light was flashing. I was trying to be
Oh, the light was flashing? Okay. No, that's all right. You're good. You're good like that. Welcome. Thank you, Mike, for letting her in.
Certainly.
Talking about norovirus.
Good times.
Yeah, good times. During the week of December 5th, the CDC reported 91 cases of norovirus, more commonly known as the stomach flu. That apparently is over double the highest number recorded between 2021 and 2024. Did you know this?
I did not.
The report comes after a Minnesota Department of Health press release stating that Minnesota saw double its average number of cases of stomach flu in December. So if you're traveling around, here's what to know about norovirus. It's more commonly known as the stomach flu. It's the leading cause of vomiting and diarrhea from inflammation of the stomach and intestines, gastroenteritis. That's according to the CDC. The virus is also the number one cause of foodborne illness in the U.S. and causes 58% of the illnesses acquired. As recently found on cruise ships, we've all seen that movie a couple of times. Let's see. Oysters from British Columbia, Canada, have been recently recalled by the U.S. FDA after people got contaminated with that stuff. Yeah, I think there was like a charity event recently.
Yeah,
where they served oysters, and like 98% of the people who ate the oysters came down with norovirus.
Yeah,
that's fun, isn't it? Happy holidays!
Right.
A little extra present for you under the tree.
So what have we learned from all of this?
Wash your hands.
Wash your hands.
And don't touch anything that people who don't wash their hands have touched.
And don't rely on just hand sanitizer.
Right.
Why not?
So many people rely just on hand sanitizer.
You can't?
I mean, it's effective up to a certain point,
Okay.
right?
Don't think
But,
you're Superman or something
right,
like that.
You also have to wash your hands.
Yes, yes.
It works best in
It's not like a force field shield that
Right.
you can just do it once and then you're good for the day.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
No, I always think of hand sanitizer as it's going to sanitize my hands from what's on there then, but if whatever I touch
But then
now,
you grab your phone, which
Yeah.
is supposed to be filthy.
my phone is clean, sir.
Well,
yes.
So you think?
No, doorknobs are dirty. Don't touch doorknobs.
Do you have like one of those cool red lights, like
Ooh, what the thing that shows?
like the sanitizer?
Oh, the infrared deals?
The infrared.
No, I've seen those and
They
I
are
want one.
So awesome.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, do you
So
have one?
awesome.
I got one for you.
You have extra?
I have two, yeah.
How does he have extra of these things?
I don't know.
Anyway.
My therapist has one, so whenever I go in, I'm like, let me just put my
Then
phone
drop
in
it in
there.
there. Yeah.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
They're handy.
All right. All right. And they're hopefully if they're handy, they're hand washy.
Washy.
Hand washy thing.
Been on a cruise ship lately.
I have.
Okay.
I have.
All right.
You go out, washy.
Yeah, washy.
Oh boy. Forecast
Oh, boy. See,
forecast
that's
for
right
today. Moving right along.
Dismissal when he does the oh boy. That means we're
Oh
transitioning.
boy. We've got news from ABC in just a moment. Sarah Spoonholz from the Southwest Michigan Regional Chamber is going to bring us up to speed on all the fun things that she's doing and the chamber is up to. And we'll have more to talk about. I've been sharing notes from my vacation. I haven't even talked about the food yet.
Oh.
We should talk about the food next hour. So we'll talk about those
And
things.
the driverless.
And the
Actually,
driverless cars, those were so much fun. I really recommend
Wait,
them.
where did you go?
San Francisco.
Oh, never mind. Okay.
All right, so we've got more coming up. It's the WSJM Morning Show. Good morning. ABC News now. Local news next. It's 8 o'clock.
From ABC News, I'm Mike Dubusky. Funeral arrangements are currently being made for Jimmy Carter.
And thank you so much for joining us on the video live stream today. We really appreciate you. Sarah, anything you want to say to the folks on the video live stream?
Hi. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
Merry belated Christmas. Happy early New Year. Oh, you really had to turn it towards me. Like, could have gone just without. Like, it's a Monday morning. It's a holiday week. Like,
Any excuse I get to move the camera with a little joystick over
Right.
here, I'm taking it.
yeah, great.
Did you have a good Christmas?
It was quiet. It was okay.
Yeah.
You? Sounds like you had
Same.
a great one.
Well, we went. So it was our belated honeymoon.
Oh,
Yeah, and so
okay.
6 months in, we decided, okay, this is sticking. We'll do the honeymoon. No,
Your wife
I'm gonna-
and I'll have a
I'm going to get in
conversation
so
about
much
this
trouble.
later.
I'm going to get in so much trouble. No, so we went to San Francisco, but the driverless car thing, we took Waymos, and the Waymo it's a Jaguar SUV, and they are Jaguar.
So, Woody the Pooh?
Jaguar, and they are all over the place. They are so proliferate. It's so easy to get a Waymo. Driverless vehicle. You get in the back, it takes you somewhere. It's a robot car.
Interesting.
I have a video I'll share. All right,
Interesting.
we've got more to come on the
How far
WSJM.
away do you think we are from that? I mean, we just lost McDonald's in Stevensville, so we're probably like about 50 years out.
You're bringing me down, man. No, they're signing new contracts. In fact, Waymo just signed a contract in Atlanta to bring the cars there, and so I mean, Chicago can't be far behind.
Yeah.
And they're actually working with Uber in Atlanta. I don't know what kind of deal they've got going on, but basically Uber has probably said, we better join them because they're going to crush us. Because I found it so much more convenient than an Uber.
Well, I mean, especially if you are someone who was very introverted,
Yeah.
like that is the way to go because then you don't have to worry. Or a single female,
Right. Yeah.
like traveling
All that.
alone, like at night especially.
And
Yeah.
no tip.
And
Don't
no
have
tip.
to tip.
Oh, I didn't think about the tipping part. I was thinking just like safety.
Well, that too. I
And
mean,
like,
so-
you know,
yeah, your life and liberty and all that
introvert
stuff.
versus
Ask for a tip,
extrovert.
though.
Yeah.
No, not on Waymo.
No?
No,
Oh.
no tip. No, they said rate your trip, and I said here's 5 stars.
Oh.
Each star is probably $2
But
or something like that.
pricing wise, is it close to like an Uber?
Which one? Oh, cost wise?
Yeah.
I found it to be cheaper, and
Ah.
we were Waymoing, if that's a word. We were using the Waymo on Christmas, and for Uber they would do a holiday upcharge. For Waymo, no holiday charge, no surcharge.
Nice.
How awesome is that? Yeah,
Huh.
and it didn't run over anyone. We only got a little bit stuck once, and then it unstuck itself. Yeah, it's really cool. All right. Well, thank you for joining us on the video live stream. We really appreciate you. We'll talk here tomorrow. Mike's coming back for tomorrow. It's our New Year's Eve show, so maybe we can do some New Year's resolutions. We've got Sarah to talk in just a moment. It's all here on the WSJM Morning Show. Tune into the radio and live stream on the app as well.
Follow, and subscribe.
Like, follow, subscribe, hit that bell so you know always when our YouTube and our Facebook live streams are beginning.
Celebrities and athletes.
Dallas Mavericks point guard Luka Doncic's home was broken into Friday during his team's road trip. Burglars allegedly